What's up, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, and today we're breaking down some simple tips and tricks for the new mode Escape. If you haven't played Escape, it's amazing, and I highly recommend that you dive into it. I've been playing this pretty much non-stop, but there's some things that you need to know. Namely, we're going to talk about power leveling first. Power leveling is something that you're going to really struggle with because it can be difficult. I would recommend, at a minimum, jumping into your characters and picking at least 3 to level up. I'm going to select Mac here. I'm going to show you my Escape setup. When you play Escape, you cannot play the same character in a team. So with a team of 3 people, that means there's a chance that you might not be able to play your main. So it's going to be important that you at least have 3 that you're leveling up. I'm going to recommend at this point starting with beginner because you're going to be able to solo the beginner difficulty, and that's going to help you level up quicker. The nice thing also is that you can play horde mode, and you're going to be leveling up these characters there as well. Some of them don't carry over into horde, some of them do. Maybe we'll see an update in the future about that. But here's where it becomes a thing. At level 1, you have 1 skill. At level 3, you have 2 skills. At level 5, you have 3 skills. 7, 4, and finally, you get your 5th skill slot at level 9. Now, why this is important is that your skills can actually level up. You can come in here and continually increase their effectiveness by getting more skill cards that allow you to do that, or you can use your iron to be able to upgrade that as well. I wouldn't recommend doing iron. It's going to go quick. So just keep in mind, it's actually pretty easy to get these skills, and you can kind of see what I've got here. I've continued to improve and increase my skills with that. So back to the mode Escape. Why this is important is that you want to be able to solo. Now, if you've got a group that you know and you're playing with your buds, that's going to be the best. That's where you want to increase the difficulty to really where you guys can fall. Obviously, the most lethal being Master. And why would you potentially want to run Master? Well, you actually have medals that are going to contribute to your operations here as well. So if you look at your Escape mode, you can see Hive Master as well as Past Master. This is going to give you a ton of skills, a ton of stars, which is going to help you complete your operations and things like that. Anyway, that's just an aside. I want to kind of deliver that to you. Why is that important? Because higher difficulty rewards more rare skills, as well as if you jump over into your leaderboard, completing in the top 10%, completing in the top 1% is going to reward you various things. Hitting in the top 50% is going to give you a nice 50% boost to XP. So you're going to see 2,000 XP that it's showing here listed, and you can see kind of where I fall among the world as well as among my friends. What? Number 2, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Andrew. Anyway, so that's important because the difficulty is going to have an impact on your time. Running this at a beginner level is going to see times in the 30s or more. You can see my best time being at 24. That's obviously, as the higher difficulty, the less penalty to your time. Now, I can run a beginner match 6 minutes, 8 minutes. Think of it like a dungeon as you would in an RPG. You're going to have a blast and a lot of fun with it. And I'm just going to point that out there. If you don't want that time penalty applied, if you're like finishing it and you're like, we're at 6 or 7 minutes, why is it saying 31 or 32? That's because of your difficulty. However, at higher difficulties, you might have a challenge at getting it complete because you're going to be matched up with randos who might not be on the same page as you. And obviously, every difficulty increases the different modifiers that you have on here. I want to talk about ammo starvation here because essentially one of the things that you need to know is your melee is lethal, especially at the lower level difficulties. You can, especially on my character Emil here, have melee boost, bloody blade, big knife. This is going to make your melee even more lethal. So don't be afraid to melee these enemies. Don't be afraid to sit here and just store up ammo after ammo, especially for the last room. Now, it's also important in Escape. Whenever you're running a hive, you have the weekly hive, which is going to reset every week. You can also jump into this concept of past hives where you can farm various things. So you're going to see that, all of these kind of rotate in and out, and they have skills to chase, and they have time frames to go and do it. Obviously, the idea here is the fear of missing out. Concept in which that you want to try to jump in and play it. I love this. I think it's fast, it's easy. The fact that it's, kind of is mirrored with Horde, so you can play your characters here, you can play your characters in Horde to some limitations. You won't have them in each one, but at least you're getting XP. Now, I would say, especially at the beginner level difficulty, the escape is going to allow you to level up much faster than in Horde. But if you can play that similar character, then you're going to be good to go. Again, what you find is it's going to assign you a character. This is going to allow you to kind of pick from these 6 different characters. They all have their own individual skill sets, and my recommendation will be pick 3 to focus in on. You could pick all of them if you want and level them all up and have a really grand time. That's going to be great. And what we're going to do is we're going to dive more in depth on each of these characters and their special abilities in another video over at Work to Game. I'll do a more in-depth guide regarding escape, but I wanted to point those things out to you. When you're playing the game, have fun. If you're only rocking in solo until you're level 5 on a character, and again, like I said, I would recommend getting level 5 on 3 characters before upgrading your difficulty. That way, you're going to have a better chance of being able to complete it if your group drops, or if they don't know what they're doing, or if they're all level 1s and they're just figuring out. There is no restriction to the difficulty you can enter in. You can jump in day 1 with Master. Nobody's going to be restricted. And that means that if you just jump into an intermediate or experienced, you might be jumping in with somebody who has not completed it, who doesn't know what they're doing. And if you and if it ends up taking you a lot of time, that could be ultimately frustrating. But hopefully you've got good friends to play with, because that's going to make all the difference in the world. The ability to communicate, stick together. It's going to help you res, especially when you run into those bosses, which every hive has its own boss. Every every escape has its own boss. And also it's randomized for the most part. It's the same dungeon, but they're going to throw different tricks at you. They're going to change it up on you. So it's a little bit unexpected, but you'll start to see kind of patterns in what you can expect as you run it. I wish you all the best of luck. Let me know what questions you have in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer this for you guys. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Look forward to hopefully you guys check out Work to Game, my main channel, on which we'll do a deeper dive on on escape and everything that it entails. But I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you're enjoying Gears 5 as much as I am, and I will see you guys in my next video.
You're good at us! I think we're good. On me! On me! I'm reloading! Supply cash!